Hey, Gunner. Toward the end of the year, you guys were in contention for a New Year's Six bowl game, and then it didn't shake out that way. How do you think the team has responded from not getting into the New Year's Six?
Obviously everybody was frustrated initially. It's hard to work the entire season. Is that one of your goals? And then to get so close and come up a little bit short, it's frustrating for sure. But I think everybody's done a great job of kind of turning that frustration into motivation. These last couple of weeks of practice have been really intense, really amped up. There's been fights breaking out because it's been so competitive. We're going ones against ones, offense against defense, and it's getting competitive. People are ready to go out and play another game against someone else, and so I think people have kind of channeled that frustration into motivation.
And along the intense practice that you brought up, who stuck out offensively from your eyes?
Offensively, I think everybody's just been sticking out. I think it's been a great opportunity for some of the younger guys to get in and really get some of those quality reps. So I think some of the younger guys, Keanu Hill, Chase Roberts, Chris Jackson on the receivers end, I think those guys have all been doing a great job of getting reps with the ones and playing against our first string defense and doing a good job.
Thanks, Gunnar.
Go ahead, Jared.
Hey, Gunnar.
How's it going?
This is a time as you get ready for this last game where you're focused on what's happening right now, of course, getting ready, but there's also got to be some thoughts about the future. What's that process like as you try and balance those two things?
It hasn't been difficult just the last couple of weeks because, our season's been ended for about 2 weeks now, and so there really hasn't been a lot of stress on that side. And so really for me it's just weighing the best options either way and not just football, taking everything into consideration. And so that's pretty much what I've been doing. Just being patient with the whole process and, we'll see what happens.
You guys talk about it because there's a lot of guys that have a lot of choices. Is there discussions that go on, or
Yeah.
is it more of an individual thing that with family or coaches or?
Ultimately it's an individual decision because everybody's in a different position. Everybody has to make that decision for themselves. But we kind of, joke around with each other and we talk with each other about, what the process is like for them, and we're all kind of in it together because we've been brothers here for the last couple of years, and so it's all kind of together, but also individual.
Okay, next we'll take a question from Jay and Dana.
Hey, Gunnar, have you decided yet? You told us a few weeks ago you hadn't.
I'm leaning a little bit one way right now, but really I said I wasn't going to decide until after the season was completely over, and so that's kind of what I'm doing.
Okay. And then your guys who already talked about getting 11 wins, how big of a deal is that for the legacy of this 2021 football team to get to that plateau?
I think it's huge. I think this has been one of the hardest schedules that BYU's ever played. We've played and won against the most Power 5 teams that in BYU history, and so I think it's really awesome in cementing our legacy as this team. To get 11 wins, it's an amazing thing. And then, like Lopa mentioned right before I came on, it hasn't been done since the national championship season that we've gotten 11 wins 2 seasons in a row, which is unheard of. And so I think it'd be really cool to go out with a bang.
Gunner, is a lot of times these bowl games are about motivation. Who wants it more? UAB, obviously, they're coming back from not having football at all just a few years ago, so they're motivated. Is that your main source of motivation, is to cement that legacy with back-to-back 11-win seasons? Is that the biggest thing?
It's definitely part of it, but I think everybody on this team kind of feels slighted a little bit by the bowl selection committee, and so I think really that's the number one source of motivation, is to go out and finish strong and show teams that we deserve to be up there, and to help maybe future teams to show that we shouldn't be slept on.
And then what are you looking forward to most going out there? I guess Lofa said Spider-Man, some Cajun food. Anything else you're looking forward to?
That's what I've heard is the Cajun food. I've heard the food is amazing down there. Don't really know much about Shreveport. I've never really heard much about it until we got the call for the bowl game. So just excited to go out and have a new experience and experience a different part of the country.
Next we'll take questions from Chris and then Sean.
All right, thanks. I've read a lot about you and your brother, kind of the early portion of him deciding to join you there at BYU. I'm curious about the more recent, just what have you learned new about him, and how's that relationship evolved and developed, being with each other so much as part of the football team and just there on campus together?
Yeah, I think mine and Baylor's relationship has really evolved since we first got here. We've always been close. We've always been, best friends growing up and stuff. But the dynamics of this relationship have changed a little bit. Just being out here, going through everything that we have together in school and in football, it's brought us really close together. He's probably the guy that I hang out with most on the team, so he's one of my best friends. And then he's my older brother too. So that relationship has really developed even from the time that I was a freshman. It's just been really cool to see individually how much each of us have grown and then grown together.
Gunnar, how much energy is there right now around and I don't know how much you think about this, but just how much energy is there around the future of the program right now with Kalani's extension and obviously the Big 12 announcement that you guys have moved through and all of that stuff? It feels like there's a lot of hype, not just for what you guys are doing, but for what's to come with this program.
Yeah, I would argue right now that we have, some of the most momentum out of any team in the country, just what's been done here this season and last season. And then, in the background with Kalani's extension, the Big 12, some momentum with recruiting and stuff like that, I would say that, this program is really rolling right now. And you can feel it on the inside. You can feel that momentum. The culture, since I've been a freshman to now, it's a complete 180. It's a complete shift in the culture. We go and we expect to win now, whereas before it wasn't always that way. We'd go in and not always expect to come out on top. But I think that's the difference. Is this is a winning tradition now. This is a winning program.
Let's take question from Alex and then Jake.
Hey Gunnar, I'm just curious. Since the NIL thing has just happened in college sports, since the NIL thing has happened in college sports, and BYU has a couple of partnerships, how have you been able to kind of benefit from that? How's your life changed if it has in any significant way?
Really not much. I think a lot of people were kind of expecting it to blow up, and it has to a certain extent. It's made a big splash in college athletics, but really day-to-day life hasn't changed very much. There's been a couple of deals that we've gotten as a team, but I don't think unless you're one of the top guys with 100,000 followers on Instagram or something that it's going to make a significant difference in your life. And so it's cool for sure to get some of that extra recognition, some of that extra cash and opportunities, but not a crazy difference has happened, at least in my life.
Gunnar, I don't know if I've ever asked you this question before, but what is the significance between you wearing the number 18?
Well, it's a funny story. My freshman year of high school, I got pulled up to varsity, and I actually chose the number 9. That was my favorite number. But they said freshmen couldn't wear single-digit numbers, and so number 18 was the next coolest thing, I guess. And so I wore that, and then the next year, my sophomore year, I figured, I'd already played a couple games on varsity with this number, so might as well stick with it. And so I've just stuck with that number ever since. Really no significance other than that.
And what is, in terms of your bowl experiences in the past, what are you looking forward to most about this week?
Just to get out there and have some fun experiences with my friends, with my teammates. It's always fun to go to different places and see different things because we still have practice. It's still scheduled, but there's a lot of free time out there, and so it's really just an opportunity to bond with your teammates and create even more of a brotherhood than we already have.
Thank you.
Gunnar, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Good luck in the bowl game.
Appreciate it.